There are many great teams out there, like the Golden State Warriors, who just won the NBA championship. That's more of an older team with Steph, Clay, and Draymond. There's younger teams out there that are going to start coming and destroying the league. And I think one of those teams are the Memphis Grizzlies. So that's why in today's video we're going to be looking into the Memphis Grizzlies and see if they're a future dynasty. So, for Memphis Grizzlies, John Morant is 23, Dylan Brooks is 26, Stephen Adams is 29, Desmond Bane is 24, Zaire Williams is 20. You see the pattern here, all of their players are very young. And not saying like any names, these are all their players' ages. 23, 26, 19, 35, 29, 24, 22, 26, 20, 25, 19, 21, 23, 20, 21, 24. This is a young team that's coming out there and already destroying most of the league. I'm not saying destroying like they won an NBA championship or something, but they were able to bring the Warriors to 6 games without Ja Morant for most of the time, which is just incredible. Honestly, the Memphis Grizzlies are a young, gunny, motivated squad, and this young core won 56 games this past season. I mean, if they continue to play like this and stay together, they could become a future dynasty. I mean, it's honestly just incredible. I'd like to think that, like, if there's anything they can improve, is consistently hitting them 3-point shots. They're already pretty good at this, but I think if everybody on their team can consistently hit 3-point shots and can grab more rebounds, which they're already really good at, this team is going to be really, really good. And next season, I have them as the team that's going to win the most NBA games out of the whole league. They're going to go into the playoffs as the 1 seed next year, which is crazy. Honestly, as a Boston Celtics fan, saying this honestly just feels insane. I honestly feel the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be that team of the West for the next couple of years. Might not be next year when they represent the West, but sometime in the future they will represent the West, and they're going to do it a couple of times at least. The Memphis Grizzlies are led by superstar Ja Morant, who just turned 23 yesterday, at the day I'm recording this. And so that's good. And their second best player, Desmond Bane, is 24. And they also have Jaren Jackson Jr. But this squad is very underrated. I like to think of it as like this. So if they're able to beat the Timberwolves in 6 and get the Warriors to 6 games, Luka's Mavericks could only lasted 5 games. Jokic's Nuggets only lasted 5 games. And Tatum's Celtics lasted 6 games as well. Although the Celtics weren't really that well in the NBA Finals, still had to go to 6 games. Now, I believe if the Memphis Grizzlies can really develop Ja Morant, and Ja Morant could be like a top 3 player in the league in the future, along with like Luka, Trey, Tatum, Anthony Edwards, all those players, honestly, this team could be that team out of the West. I could see them representing the West a lot of times in the future. And Ja Morant's probably going to get a lot of rings. He could honestly win 3 rings. And that's the point where you realize, is this team actually a future dynasty? I mean, they got Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, and even without Ja Morant, this team is still insane. So, Ja Morant played 57 games in the regular season, in the 2021-22 regular season. Correct. Without Ja Morant in those 25 games, the Grizzlies won a total of 20 of them. They went 20-5 without Ja Morant, which means even if their best player is gone, they're still really good. 20-5 with all these youngsters that are still going to develop. Just start thinking about that. That's going to be scary for the rest of the league. There are other good young cores out there, like the Raptors, the Warriors, the Celtics. But I don't really know if any of those teams are going to be able to stop this. I mean, it might take them a few years. I think they can make a finals appearance in like 2026, 2025. But that's the future. Honestly, in the next few years, it's going to be teams like the Bucks, Warriors, Clippers, Celtics, like teams like that are obviously going to win the finals. But I could see the Grizzlies, even if they don't win a championship, they're going to at least make the finals like once or twice in the next, the Ja Morant era, I guess you can call it. That's just started. This year, Ja Morant exploded, averaging 27.4 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists. That's insane. Ja Morant would win the Most Improved Player award, only playing 57 games, which is incredible for the Memphis Grizzlies. He led the Memphis Grizzlies to the 2 seed behind the Phoenix Suns, who would win 64 games, which is awesome. Even though the Memphis Grizzlies won 56 games, they're going to take down the league, and this is why. If there's one thing the Memphis Grizzlies need to do, it's defense. Now, the Memphis Grizzlies already have good defense. They're ranked really high defensively in the league, but they're young. Young players are just usually good at defense because they're young and they can run around and like steal. But like as you get older, you're gonna need to be a really good like team defense. Kind of like what the Warriors did. Their team was kind of all offense, and when they started playing defense, they start winning championships. And they were able to win 3 in 5 years, and then eventually 4 in 8 years. Their most recent championship being in 2022. Now, I'm not saying that the Grizzlies are gonna be a dynasty. Obviously, there's gonna be some stuff they're gonna need to improve, but they honestly have a future of it. I think John Morant, Jaren Jackson, and Desmond Bane can lead this team. I think Jaren Jackson and Desmond Bane are gonna really improve. Honestly, do think Desmond Bane might be better. I think he has really good potential, but being like a third option on the Memphis Grizzlies, he doesn't get to show it. Also underrated pieces, Brandon Clark, as we saw in the Wolves and the Warriors series. Brandon Clark is an amazing player who can really help. And the Grizzlies have really good chemistry, which we saw in the 2022 NBA season. We saw them dancing, jumping all over them, and then whenever they win a game, they go crazy. I mean, this team's chemistry is already insane. I think they're going to make the finals around 2025, 2026 when Ja's like 27, 28 years old, entering his prime, along with Jaren and Bane in their prime. And I think they could win that year. I think they might be 2025, 2026 NBA champions. That's amazing for them considering that they haven't made the playoffs many times in their franchise history, and their franchise isn't the best franchise, obviously. So from John Morant, I think John Morant is gonna end his career with at least one MVP or 2 MVPs. Because, man, this dude's basically a mini Derrick Rose, like a 2011 Derrick Rose. Like, this dude is crazy. Honestly, like, if there's one thing we hope for, we already seen him getting injured. We don't want to keep seeing that over and over again and see him end up like Derrick Rose. But this video is not to talk negatively about John Morant. It's about positivity. I honestly see him winning 1 or 2 MVPs in the future, considering the fact that everybody loves this man. Most people think Luka Doncic can win MVP next season, which I think is probably gonna happen. I think a young player like Luka or Tatum could definitely win the MVP. I mean, both of those players have entered the MVP race many times. Luka Doncic is a really good MVP candidate. Ja even entered the MVP race last season at the age of 22. But guys like Luka and Tatum, like, they have phenomenal seasons and definitely can win the MVP before John Morant can. Concerning the fact they're both older too. Like Jason Tatum, for an example, he had a really bad start to the season, but once he turned it around, he entered the MVP race. So this team has a good future, and I can't wait to see what this future brings for them. I think the Memphis Grizzlies can definitely become a future dynasty. It's possible. You need to get better defense and all of that. So if the Memphis Grizzlies become a future dynasty and win, 3 championships, 3 championships, that would be good for them. Because their franchise is not really known for winning. I could see the Memphis Grizzlies probably winning around 2 to 3 championships, which would be good for their franchise, considering the fact that their franchise isn't a winning team. Like, I think they made like the playoffs 11 times in franchise history, which is not good at all. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.